ॐ यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तं हदेवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ॐ वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनगेन्द्र संघपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। ॐ Grihastha is considered to be the ashrama with the predominance of karma. Sannyas is that stage of life where karma is relinquished altogether. And by karma, we do not mean actions of eating food or taking bath, etc. Karma over here means an action which is initiated with an expectation of getting some desire fulfilled, and which at its base has kartrutva abhiman, ham karta iti. So in Grihastha Ashrama, person has accepted this Grihastha Ashrama because there is some putreshana, vitteshana, lokeshana, all these things are there. And therefore, to have these desires fulfilled, he or she enters into the Grihastha Ashrama. But a Viveki person sooner or later comes to understand that though I may have these desires and they are the propelling forces of my life, yet I understand the limitation of those objects which I desire, namely Putra, Vitta and Loka. I understand that Putra, Vitta, Loka cannot be called as ultimate in life. They are there, and these these phalas, putra vittalok, presently may be alluring me, yet in spite of that allurement, I'm able to, somewhere there is this viveka that he understands their limitation. You know? So now, when in the field of karma, anything that is going to obstruct the phalam, whether it is the time or situations or whatever circumstances, because of which a person is bound to feel that why am I yet not getting what I desire? That makes a person very, very anxious, becomes full of anxiety. Then to this person, he now wants some form of viveka whereby this anxiety can be overcome. Okay. So first of all, look at the karma phala, that whatever that you are desiring, and then you can ask, what is it that would happen if those things that I desire do not take place? What will be the ultimate thing? Go to the let your vichar go to the farthest consequence. Let it go to the farthest consequence. नहीं होगा तो क्या होगा? And there you will also discover the freedom to be from this anxiety. I'm not saying that do not desire. You know, there is nothing like you should not desire. Desires will arise on their own accord. Desires coming is not something which can be controlled by anyone. Desires will arise. Once they arise, they are bound to create certain, sequence of actions. Along with that, that will also generate anxiety and worry and, several other things. So have little courage and let us think, what would be the farthest consequence of all this that I don't desire? Farthest kya hoga? And then strive for whatever you are striving for in a very righteous manner. And thereby, you are striving for that what is best, and you are prepared for that what is worst. And by that virtue, you will never go into a state of shock because you are already prepared. Hoga kya? And whatever is the consequence, it is yet not going to be the worst, the last, the final that you have already seen. And therefore, whatever the karma brings in now is not going to disappoint you. कर्म करते हैं, फिर निराश भी होते हैं, because that karma phala is not up to your expectation, and that's why there is a disappointment. Therefore, when you strive for the best and are prepared for the worst, there is no disappointment. And as you are doing it, there is no anxiety too. Add one more element to that karma, and that is understand it to be your worship of Ishvara. Because Parameshwara is in this form of the world in various names and forms scattered all around you, including this body, mind also is nothing but the body of Parameshwara. So all these names and forms, good and bad, virtuous and evil, this is all Parameshwara around you. Then to respond to this in an appropriate manner is very, very important. You may have, those people who own horses. When I was in Mauritius, I was right next to a major horse stable for their, this horse races, etc. And those horses which are there are very, very expensive. Every horse in several thousands of, dollars or things like that. Maintaining them is also very, very expensive. There are 2-3 people to look after every horse. They have to be paid. The veterinary surgeon, etc., they have to be paid. So keeping a horse is very, very expensive. So though your horse is so dear to you and you value it, yet you are not going to take the horse to a Chinese restaurant where you go. Why so? Because you are going to feed the horse that what is appropriate for it to consume. You are not going to force it just because you like Chinese food and this Chinese food is also very expensive. My horse is also very expensive. Let me feed it. No. What would you do is to give it what is appropriate to it. Therefore, when we act appropriately, what is yogyam, what is ayogyam? Now, though the whole world is Ishvara's form, but your responses are now based on what? What is yogyam, what is ayogyam? For example, when you do puja, the Bilva Patra is to be offered to Bhagavan Shankar. Tulsi Dala is to be offered to Bhagavan Vishnu. Red lotus is to be offered to Surya Bhagavan. Durva and hibiscus is to be offered to Ganesha. Now, all these 5 forms, Shiva, Shakti, Ganesha, Vishnu, and Surya, are forms of Paramatma, one Paramatma alone, yet everywhere there is a specific way in which Parameshwara is worshipped. When worshipped in Shalagrama, Tulsi Dala. When worshipped in Banalinga, Bilvadala. When worshipped as in the Shona Shila, Durvadala. When worshipped as this Sphatika, Golaka, then you will offer the red lotus flower. Now you see, appropriately, therefore, whether when it is your mother and father, there is a particular way to respond and the duties, etc. are there. When it is your children, there is a particular way. When these are your in-laws or something, friends, colleagues, superordinates, ordinates, or people who are working for you. For them, there is a different way, though recognizing that everything is Parameshwara, there is a particular yogya, ayogya way of doing it, relating to them. Thus, when you are in the field of karma, what is yogyam, what is ayogyam has to be thought, and the attitude has to be that sarvam khalvidam brahma, all this is Parameshwara alone. So thus every action carries the fragrance of devotion, and that action is appropriate, which means according to dharma. Thus, this is the way in which the grihastha should be in the field of karma. By doing this, by living like this, what will happen? First of all, there will be freedom from anxiety and worry. You will be always, there is going to be that relative satisfaction. Whatever karma phala comes, you are already prepared for it. And therefore, whatever is the karma phala, you will be content with it. This contentment, santosha, is something that is truly earned, a value which is truly earned when you are living as a grihastha. Therefore, the field of karma is something which is going to prepare you for the knowledge, which means for the relinquishment also. Because you have seen it in the Jivan Mukti Viveka, where Vidyaranya Swami said that sannyasa is possible only under two conditions. And that those two conditions are when the vairagyam is tivra, or when the vairagyam is tivratara. Tivra means intense, and tivratara means more intense. Only under these two conditions, sannyasa is possible. Therefore, now, and that sannyasa also means where there is no desire for putra vittaloka anymore. And since there is no desire for putra vittaloka, what is the point of keeping the karma, which is the means to attain putra vittaloka? Say, suppose, if I do not want to go to Haridwar, why will I get into the bus to the Haridwar? Because that bus is the means, that vehicle is the means for me to go to Haridwar. And therefore, karma, which is the means of attaining putra vittaloka, or karma, which is the means of attaining antakarana shuddhi. How that antakarana shuddhi is attained? By living a righteous life with the attitude of devotion, without forgetting Paramatma. Paramatma, Ishvara, is the anchor of your spiritual life. There is no spirituality without Ishvara. Those whose spirituality is there without devotion that is their only manovilasa. It is only their kalpana vilasa. A fantasy and some fantastic idea about spirituality, nothing more. Therefore, let Paramatma be the anchor of your life, around for whom all the karma is being done. So karma is done now not for Putra Vitta Loka, but for Ishvara. Putra Vitta Loka now becomes the secondary result. By the way, that does not remain the main thing. Thus, Karma Yoga also helps you to overcome this Putra Vitta Loka desire, and that's why Karma Yoga is also praised as a form of sannyasa. You may remember in Jivan Mukti Viveka, it is said so. And the entire bulk of Bhagavad Gita is also like this. Swayam Bhagavan is going to praise Karma Yoga as sannyasa in the 6th chapter. Now, if you have understood this much, then that sannyasa, which means because I do not have desire for Putra Vitta Loka, what is the point of me pursuing the karma which is meant for Putra Vitta Loka? Then what is even the point of me being in that ashrama which is meant for Putra Vitta Loka? Then what is it that now that you want? I want nothing but Paramatma alone. When Paramatma alone is what you want, then for which Jnanam is your ashraya, for which there is sannyasa ashrama. Ashraya meaning shelter, refuge, gati, your home, destination. If you have understood this much, now therefore, the first thing that one should do is, in your practice of meditation, the posture, etc., is also important. Now, in your very heart, offer your salutations to Ishvara and Sadguru. Then after for a while, whatever it is that is making you anxious, worried, just think about it. What would be the ultimate consequence, that which can be considered to be worst of worst? Do not be afraid of it. Do not be afraid of it. I will tell you one of my experiences. About a decade and a half before this, I came over here to this ashram. I used to live in a place which was so vacant, nirjana, that even if I was to die from a snake bite or something, people would not have discovered me till another 48 hours. Till, so it was that vacant. And the place where I lived was rumored to be having some pishach in it. Brahma Rakshasa lives over there, and they had this. there were these stories which always kept circulating, that there is this Brahma Rakshasa, and by 2:30 or between 2:30 in the morning and 3 o'clock, this Brahma Rakshasa, every day some people who wake up early, they have watched him walk from here, and he goes down to take bath in Ganga and then disappears. And it looks very, very, very terrible. And so some pishach or that Brahma Rakshasa is there in that place, they used to say. And I'm living alone. And on the cold nights, no electricity and things like that. When at night, there's, the days of new moon and all that, when it used to be pitch black, if I had to go out in the middle of the night for bathroom or things like that, then this idea that somebody is standing behind me, some terrible big fellow, and he's going to pounce on me anytime. I was scared. It's to scare me for some time. And always felt that, there is somebody just right behind. And so eventually, one night I just said, whatever it may be, why should I be scared of it before it comes? And only when it comes, whatever that bhuta is there, when it comes and stands in front of me, then I will decide whether I should get scared or not. Why should I be scared before that? And let me see how terrible it is. And so I turned back, stood over there. I said, whatever it is, let me see. Come on. And nothing happened. I tell you, nobody came, nothing appeared. So I don't have stories which are very fantastic, but one lesson that I learned over there was, when we face our fears, the fear disappears. Something will continue to scare you, petrify you, as long as you choose to be afraid of it. And therefore, whatever is the consequence, think, what can be the worst of worst? Pralay hoga, hone do. In my childhood, we had visited one saint near Pune. And this Tapasvi Mahatma, there was something written on their wall, which she must have said sometime. And it said, काय होईल? आकाश कोसळेल, कोसळू दे, दुसरं आकाश असेल. What will happen? Is the sky going to fall down? Let the sky fall. There will be yet another sky. Don't worry. So first of all, when your mind now is calm and free from these vikalpas, free from this klishta vrittis, then you are prepared for dhyana abhyasa. In Tattvanusandhanam that we are studying, Saguna Upasana was explained to us. So Parameshwara, and that Upasana means meditation. So Parameshwara as Nirguna Nirakar is this Atma. Parameshwara as Saguna, the Sakar, is Rama, Krishna, Shiva, Shakti. Saguna Sakar. Saguna Nirakar is Ishvara. So this is all Ishvara only. Ishvara, when will he be called as Ishvara? When there is no Akar to associate with. And this very Parameshwara, without any gunas and without any form, is Atma. So your spiritual journey is from Saguna Sakar to Saguna Nirakar, Saguna Nirakar to Nirguna Nirakar. This is how it goes. And therefore, in the beginning, when you offer your salutations to the Lord, whatever is your Ishta form of God as Rama, Krishna, Shiva, Shakti, invoke that. And Sadguru, if you have difficulty, because if you have not been able to say that this person or that person, because our buddhi is such that it is bound to see some doshas in a living person. Then for time being, I can suggest that consider Bhagavan Bhashyakara as your guru. Offer salutations and then now sit and first of all free your mind from this anxiety. What will happen? What will happen? Answer that anxiety by giving, even if worst of worst things may happen, theek hai. But that does not mean that I have lost Paramatma or Paramatma has stopped holding my hand. Even if the pralaya takes place, dissolution of all the three worlds may happen, I will still be in the lap of my Lord. So there is nothing to fear. Set this mind free from the anxiety. When the mind is calm, now the Tat Pada Vichara, Tvam Pada Vichara can take place. So begin from where you are standing now. We will start the meditation, and if it goes beyond half an hour, Anand, you can close the meeting.
Okay, Mahadev.